I think it was 10 kilos I lost over the program, which made a massive difference to my just general level of energy and just how I felt about things, on top of the mental wellbeing stuff that you've done.
Today we've got Ollie back. Ollie finished in the program, the 1% Blueprint, with us actually we just discussed it about 8 weeks ago now. He's kind of taken 20, 30 minutes out of his day to discuss his experience, where he was at, where he's got to, and some of his key learnings. So anyone that's interested, I think you'll get a lot out of this conversation. Before we kind of get into the meat of it, Ollie, do you want to just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, a bit about you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Luke. So, Ollie back. I'm a partner at a professional services firm in London. So I'm coming up to my 3-year anniversary there, and kind of been in professional services all my life. Obviously, taking on a partnership role was quite a step change in terms of the responsibility and the workload. And at the same time, I had our first son as well.
What was going on with you, and what was kind of maybe your motivation for reaching out and having a conversation?
Yeah, I think just generally trying to juggle it, and loads of people I've spoken to about this since I've done the program have said, yeah, actually, I find the same. I feel the same way. We're just trying to balance career, family, friends, your own personal time, and your own well-being is really, really challenging. And I don't think the pandemic's helped in any way. And so a lot of people are feeling like this at the minute. And for me, the easiest thing to fall down the pecking order was my own well-being, like my own physical and mental well-being. And it got to a point back in March where I was just, one morning, it was just trying to balance too much work stuff. I wanted to make sure that I was present with my boy and my wife, and I just wasn't able to make it work. And then throw on top of that, I'm kind of opening up the cupboard and looking at the certain size of shirts that I've still got in the wardrobe, but I wasn't able to fit into, and then having to reach for the size up, just thinking, hang on a minute, this is not sustainable. I've got to do something about it.
What are the main successes you've had having come out of the program and was now sitting on the other side?
I think, I think you're right. When I first, the reason that I prompted me to call you initially was not about wanting to lose weight or look better. It was about feeling better and being able to kind of make sure I could juggle everything, and be present, particularly with my family, as well as be managing the workload. So that was the initial driver. And I remember sitting on week 1 call and looking at everybody's weight chart. Literally everybody without exception had a weight loss chart, which kind of went almost like 45 degrees. And I was just thinking, there's the thought at that point of me even losing 1 kilo. I was just thinking, I can't do it, because I've tried it in the past. That I won't be able to do that. But then actually you let 2 or 3 weeks go by and you start seeing it and you feel really good about it. And so you keep going, and you layer more and more and more stuff in. And so I think for me now, I think it was 10 kilos I lost over the program, which made a massive difference to my just general level of energy and just how I felt about things, on top of the mental wellbeing stuff that you've done. But since that time, I think I've lost a further 2 over the last 8 weeks. So yeah, as I said, it dropped very rapidly over the program. But the really key thing for me is that I've been able to sustain it since.
So I think that there's the health, the fitness, and the weight piece, which is fantastic. Like you also talked about the sort of the well-being and the sort of the mental well-being side of things. What I guess would you say were your key wins or successes around that side of things?
Yeah, quite a number of things. I think it's quite hard to kind of pin down just 1 or 2. I think some of the things that we've discussed in the past as well is just getting a sense of perspective, because when everybody's really busy and it's if things kick off at work or at home or whatever it might be, problems can start kind of generating quite a lot of kind of negative noise, I suppose. And it's making sure that you can zoom out and get a sense of perspective around those, rather than kind of getting dragged in on a daily basis, are really important. So if you're going week on week saying, oh, that was a tough week, that was a tough week, that they will tick down pretty fast. So actually, you've got a choice here. You either kind of stay stuck and you make the choices to get engaged and bogged down in some of the challenges that you're facing, but actually that mindset shift is really important.
I'm aware of time, Ollie. I know notwithstanding what we just said, you're a very busy man. So before we wrap up, I guess one of the final question then, and it's probably quite a big question, so you just answer however you want, but like, what would you say is your main takeaway from the process and the program? If there was one thing that you're going to say that, you know, the big learning.
I think the thing for me is that it's all right to reach out for someone to say, actually, something's not right here. I need some support. You know, the minute I booked on week 1 with you, I felt a massive sense of relief because I knew that I was doing something about it finally. And so taking that first step can be really challenging. But once you've done it, I mean, you know, as I said, I was really nervous about starting the program. I thought, oh my God, like, how intense is it going to be? Am I going to be able to fit everything in? But actually, it was really manageable, and it went by really quickly. Really enjoyed it, and I'm in a significantly better place now than I was before I started.
For anyone that's watching this, if they're interested in having a chat, you know, they're in a similar situation to Ollie, you know, reach out, give me a shout, drop me a note in the comments, or drop me a DM. Ollie, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Cheers, Luke.
It's great to see you. You're thriving. Anyone else, have a great Wednesday, and thank you for your time. Cheers, Ollie.